All right, hey everyone. Just want to do a real quick, well, maybe not a real quick video on the new five-star character Thanos, because as everyone has seen, he's out for Christmas time, and it's time to get a look at his powers, see what he's about. So let's just start. So first thing you're going to notice is that Thanos has an extremely high amount of health. He's supposed to be a tank character, and that he's just basically just meant to take a lot of damage and then just dish it out after he's taken enough. So he has high match damage, he has high health, and his powers, as you can see, tend to reflect the nature of he'll take that beating, but once he's taken just enough, he's going to dish it out in kind. So let's look at them. So you have Court Death, Infinite Power, and Come and Get Me. The reason I have him at 544 at this point is because after looking at all his powers and trying to balance out the pros and cons of not only the cost but the probability of getting one to activate over the other, it's his powers basically balanced out best at 544. So let's look at it. First one is Court Death. It's a passive. Basically, I'm not going to read it, so you can just probably read it in a video if you want. But essentially what happens is once you kill a character on the enemy team, he will stun everybody else on the team, including he will stun anybody else who's left alive for 2 turns. So that means your allies and the enemy as well. So say you kill one enemy character, he's going to stun the other 2, and then he's going to stun whoever's left alive on your team except himself. Then he will deal, based on the level, right now this Thanos is at 464, I'm sorry. So he's going to deal around 15,000, 15,500 to the enemy team. So each opponent, and then he will also deal 3,868 damage to his own teammates as well. So that's just one thing to keep a note of. So it's even though it is an extremely high damage potential power, and the fact that it stuns opponents, it's just something to make a note of, that he could potentially kill one of your allies if their health is low enough. So it's just something to note of. I will say that with the right team, that health hit that you're going to take is not going to be noticed much. If you have characters that are of low health and don't take damage very well, then it's going to be an issue. But pretty much he's going to be your front man on your team. At least that's how you're going to want to run him, to make optimum use of his powers. So moving on, Infinite Power. He puts out a countdown tile, and while this tile is out, nobody, that includes your allies or the enemy, can make any changes to the board as far as powers that would create tiles or change tiles or destroy them. So powers like Old Man Logan that create strike tiles don't work. So the power will activate, but nothing will happen at all. Literally, he will stick his hand out in the turn, but no strike tiles will be generated. The same goes for anybody that tries to create countdown tiles. The AP will be spent, nothing will happen. So in that regard, he messes the enemy up, and he can also mess you up if you're not paying attention. So it's definitely one thing to make note of for this power. It is a very good power, but it is something that's a double-edged sword, in that if you fire it off with you could potentially cost yourself the match because you put it out there and didn't think about what it was going to do to you as well as the enemy. So just something to keep note. His last power is Come and Get Me. If you're going to fire power, say to fire this first. So while it's out, he's basically just getting ready. So what it does is when he puts this CD tile out, he becomes like Colossus and Spider Woman. He will jump out in front at the end of every turn to take any and all damage that is going to come your team's way. So that's where the tank part comes in. He's just basically built to just take damage after damage after damage. So once that done and it actually goes off, he's going to deal 20,462 damage to the entire team. That's to each enemy. Now, usually that's enough to down one character if you get that off, and that's where this power plays off of his black power. So his green power kills somebody, the black power kicks in and downs an opponent, in which case stunned everybody, dealt 15,000 damage to him, so you hit them for 35,000 for 12 AP. So that's pretty good. I mean, it's I can't really talk that great about it because I've played with it, and it's an awesome power, but you have to kill somebody for it to go off. But it's still a very good power. So with that said, it's still a countdown tile, and countdown tiles take time to go off. So it's still one of those things that once it does, you just need to either try and protect it or make sure that the enemy doesn't do anything with it. And that's where it's a CD tile, so you just got to make a note of that. So with that said, let's try and get some matches in, so you can kind of see how he's been working out for me. There's a lot of different teams that come into play, but be mindful of his purple. Like I said, if you're just going to stop the enemy, you're going to stop yourself. I intentionally drew that match out just to kind of show you the oddball things that would happen. I didn't use this purple on purpose, just because it would have caused some other weird stuff to happen. I mean, it would have stopped a lot of stuff. Now, I hope you guys just saw that. That's one thing I neglected to mention, that with his purple out, he stops Phoenix cold. She will not come back at all. Kyle, she just dies outright. just killed her. Purple's out. She's just dead. Period. That's it. So, that last match, as you can see, was basically how he's going to work. He's going to tank, deal out a ton of damage, and just disrupt a lot of things. He stops Black Bolt from putting out charge tiles. He stops Phoenix Cold from coming back. He's a tank, and he just disrupts. He's just one of those characters that at first he seems good, but deceptively so until you start using him, and then he just seems that much better. So that's just Thanos, at least at first glance. So just tell me what you guys think in the comments. All right, thanks.